Carl from Studio in Car, the Studio Hi-Fi video, and I'm going to show you today the brand new Auralic Altair G1.1. They're entry level streaming DAC Pre. So we pick the Altair products first because they're more multifunctional. We can show people more of what Auralic do than we can with the dedicated products that kind of work in a chain and have a very specific, tailored, accurate job. Some good words there to describe Auralic, really. And whilst this is in its box, and I haven't taken it out, this isn't an unboxing, but I am going to take it out of its box and I'm going to show you, and I'll show you my experience of it when I get it out. What I'm expecting is something that feels like a giant metal brick. There's multiple digital inputs, many outputs, and many different ways of getting your digital music into your system. So let's take it out of its box. Okay. We don't like taking things out of their box because, well, it's kind of just, although it is brand new, it kind of just doesn't feel brand new anymore, you know. So this comes packaged in an outer box as well. So this is just its inner box. So we've got our book, user guide. You have to read this. Okay, these products they don't mess around. There's not an awful lot online that'll give you a tutorial if you're, you know, I don't know, if you're a pro and you're out doing an installation or whatever. Just make sure you've got that with you because there's tips and tricks in there that you just can't really see anywhere else. USB cable, twin Wi-Fi antennas for if you're using Wi-Fi. I tend not to. I tend to use Cat 5, but you know, it's there if you want to use it. And European plugs, so UK and EU. Let's put them back in actually. Don't need any of that malarkey. Don't need any of that. And I will likely need that. Yeah, I'll keep that out. Right, now. There he is. In a plastic covered cloth bag. Little hand areas for you to get your hands in. It's just, they just think of everything. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. Goodbye, box. Now, this bag opens from the back. You might think I'm teaching you how to suck eggs here. Don't put it on its face. Don't put it down on its knob. It weighs a ton. Don't put it on its face to get the bag off. Alright? Just put it on your knee. Slide the bag over. Like so. Don't worry about the cloth one for now. We'll deal with that one in a second. Okay, same with this one. Velcro on the back. And out we come. Okay, so immediately it's got a silver base. Some of the upgrades on this one compared to G1, better headphone amp. So you should have a better headphone listening experience with this. It just has a better, more powerful headphone amplifier. It has an extremely similar chassis to the G2 products, maybe even the same chassis. I'll have to reread and I'll add that in the description. So chassis upgrades, more stability, therefore more accuracy, and upgraded femto clock. So the internal DAC is improved. There's the back. So you've got your standard slew of digital inputs streaming, so your Cat 5 input, hard drive for USB for mass storage or computer audio, Toslink, coax, AES input, and then balanced output and line level, so RCA outputs. 3-pin plug and an on-off switch. 2 antennas, so Wi-Fi, same as the G2.1, and I would assume same as the G1. I've never had the G1, so yeah. So there we have it. The Auralic Altair G1.1. Room ready, AirPlay, can deal with NAS, so all your stuff on your own network. Let me just read out what it will deal with, and then you can understand why this video will be relatively short, because I can link you to all of this stuff. I don't need to go through it all, and you don't need to see me reading from a, you know, you can read that for yourself, you know. But just for instance, digital inputs, AES, EBU, coax, Toslink and USB, we've seen them all on the back. So this is a pre and streaming DAC. Doesn't have the phono input the way the G2.1 does. It's got to lose out somewhere, you know. This is their entry sort of all-in product, so the pre, streamer and the DAC. What they tend to do is water them down slightly from the standalone parts and put all that tech into one box, which I really love. And then streaming inputs, for instance, network shared folders, USB storage, USB CD drive, optional internal storage, UPnP, DLNA, media server, Amazon Music Unlimited, high-res audio, KKBox, Qobuz Sublime Plus, NetEase Music, Tidal Connect, Spotify Connect, Internet Radio, AirPlay 2, Room Ready, and Bluetooth should you choose to use that. I don't know why you would, but some people do, you know. So I struggle to think of what there is that you can't play on it. I mean, as a pre, if you're using it as a pre and you have an analog like a record player front end, maybe it won't fit, you know, because you won't be wanting to convert that up to convert it back down. I get that, and therefore you would want to go for the G2.1 if a streaming DAC pre was what you wanted in front of your amplification or your active speakers. That's the only real thing, to be honest, that I can think that it just wouldn't do. Certain, you know, style shifts like the silver knob and the silver bass, I think that's what distinguishes it between the G2 products and the G1 products, you know. Yeah, so I've got a little bit of a dilemma, with streaming pre-DACs at the moment, because we get asked a lot, and I've certainly been asked a lot, to bung it in with the Dynaudio Focus line. Let's see what, you know, see how well it can play, see what it can do. And those speakers for me are already a streaming active loudspeaker. They're already a system in a box. Adding things to them kind of negates the reason for them having all of that product internally in the first place. It kind of it's kind of a double negative, adding multiple boxes to something that should be relatively streamlined. So I may connect, say, the Altair G1.1 up to, say, the Focus 10s and see how much better it is than the internal DACs would suggest, or the internal streaming capabilities of that product. But you've also then got two products, you've got two apps, you've got two things to control in the volume realm, in the digital domain, you know, in your streaming and things like that. So I don't know how I feel about that. Now, what I certainly do feel positive about is this type of product being a streaming pre-DAC is a fantastic digital front end to power amplifiers with passive speakers, or to active speakers that are conventionally active speakers, so they are simply power amps inside a speaker, and preferably with some form of DSP crossover technology, rather than just bunging passives after you know, after power amps. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's where it fits in for me, as a set of active non-streaming loudspeakers, and this would be a control module. And then effectively you've got a similar product to a streaming active loudspeaker. Tuck this away, control it with an app, and you're off, and you're away playing. And arguably it would be better. There are a lot of streaming active loudspeakers on the market that sound great, you know, and are massively impressive at their price point, but can they top a dedicated streaming pre from someone like Auralic, and then an active speaker? I don't know who's going to win that battle, so I need to check it out. But yeah, I mean, I've been using the G2.1 now, the Altair G2.1 for, it's still sat on the rack now, for ages, with the Audiolab 8300 MBs, which arguably are below that product in terms of its level in the market, but together, and they run the Contour 60Is, like, you know, to sort of resolution and detail, like and fun, like the experience has just been amazing. So yeah, wicked product. And the G2.1 being half the price, so the G1.1 being half the price. So the 1.1 is 2499, and it's 2899 with a solid state, you know, internal drive built in. I have my own drives, so I never really buy units that have them internally. It's not a money thing. It's just I have them, and I don't mind putting them externally. It doesn't really bother me. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, this, like I say, this isn't a video review. This is a getting it out of its box review, not an unboxing. So don't moan at me how long the video is when all I'm doing is taking it out of the box. I'm showing you that it's here. I'm showing you that we've invested in the Auralic product, and you should and can come here and experience it, or you can pay for it and we'll lend it to you, and you can just send it back to us, you know, from our demo stock. But yeah, we are behind that product because I think they're amazing. I think what they stand for, where they sit in today's market, you know, and their sort of constant forwards looking approach to things is, it really works with me as a business owner at the beginning of a hi-fi story, not 30 years into it where I might not be looking at things like this, you know. This is absolutely my type of product. I love a digital front end. I love, you know, the control network of it. I love the ease of use of it, and the way that it sounds is just sublime. So yeah, any Auralic questions or anything like that, you know, dropping them in the comments is great, but I don't really moderate the comments. I don't really get to see them other than maybe once every couple of weeks. Truth be told, people say loads of mean stuff in comments, and I just can't be bothered with it. So you know, but then there are a lot of you that, you know, say nice stuff and actually ask genuine questions and have genuine input into the products, and even some, you know, advice for myself. Like, I don't know everything, you know. So yeah, let us know if you're after something from Auralic. We'll deal with you, and then I'll carry on dealing with you afterwards with any snags or any help or any tech. That's been the Auralic Altair G1.1, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I will report back once I'm well versed in the way that it sounds, and if its control is up to scratch of that of the G2.1, which I'm sure it is because it's using the same operating system. Alright guys, have a good weekend. It's Saturday morning. I'm going to go for a swim. Take it easy.